Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. Welcome to more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. So I originally had a second scenario recorded. I'll scroll down and show you. I had recorded the P Super, which you see here. That is listed as a 60-minute scenario. I came to realize it's not a 60-minute scenario. It's actually about an hour and 20... Like that, 60 minutes is an hour. But it's actually about an hour and 43 minutes. Full drive from one end to the other, from Bath to Templecombe. And it takes basically 103 minutes to go from one end of the route to the other on that scenario. And needless to say, I wasn't in the mood to broadcast a single long scenario in one part like that and have it wait until Tuesday. Additionally, I didn't like the quality of my recording on that, so I went ahead and modified my settings to change things around just a little bit, because I have a feeling it went ahead and went into the first video that you saw yesterday as well. That would be the video for the running on empty there. So I wanted to try to adjust the audio around that. I do that from time to time, tinker with it a little bit. So my voice is a little louder now. The game audio is a little quieter to try to compensate for the fact that the steam engines are noisier. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and see how things work with the 7F that we're going to run today. We're going to run the bruised and battered scenario. I do recognize this 85-minute one claiming an hour 25. That's going to be a long one as well. So we're going to save that one for a single weekend as well. So I'm kind of eyeballing certain scenarios that I can put together back to back, and certain ones I have to split into two parts. So we're not going to be doing all of Somerset and Dorset in one shot. We're going to actually take a break from Somerset and Dorset after this one. I'm going to move right over to Seaburgbon and do a Tuesday, Wednesday, because they are short. It's a shorter route, shorter scenarios. So I will try and do those as a Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I'm going to possibly go to a different route, again, on Fridays. That way I can get two routes done this week. And that seems to be a good way to do that for me. So we're going to try and get two routes done this week, start them off anyway, and move to a third route by next week. And at that point, I want to try and revisit one of the routes that we've already visited. I won't say which one yet, but I've already recorded two additional scenarios for it. So with that said, I got a surprise for the last one I want to do as well. We'll talk about that later, though. So let's go ahead and get into Somerset and Dorset 7F. We're going to do the shortest one, because I want to just give you a nice short scenario for you today. I'm doing 3 scenarios again on this session, all short scenarios. So I want to get this one done now. We'll move on from there. So this is Bruised and Battered. A raging storm is causing much destruction. There is a danger of fallen trees, and the lineup from Radstock is temporarily closed due to track damage. A skeleton service is running between Bath and Radstock. That's about half the route, but even that is encountering problems. Rescue a stricken service at Midford, which is along the way, and complete the stops to Radstock. 25 minutes, easy. Easy, you say? Let's do it. The stricken train to be rescued is at Midford. Align the turntable, press G, and set your path out of the yard to the up passenger line. You will have permission to pass any red signals until Midford, as long as you request with tap. Okay, we will do that. Into the cab we go, and poke our head out the window, and let's just hit the timetable as requested. You saw it just turning in front of us. So let's bring up our HUD and let's get ourselves moving. I think the timetable is now set for us. We're just going to go ahead and check this very, very quickly. So pop out of the cab, and the turntable is definitively aligned. So we are going to find our way out of here now, if we can give ourselves some speed. You can see the path that we are going to be taking is that one right there. We are going to want to check that. We're going to want to check that junction is what I'm trying to say. So let's just verify the junction is set correctly for us as we leave. According to this, it is. The junctions are setting us all onto this line, which is exactly where we want to go. So we are going the exact correct direction as we head out on the Bath up passenger line. We are at the northern end of the route, I should point out. So you can see that is the terminating part of the route. That is a terminus station in this area. So this station no longer exists. We will talk a little more about the history of the route when I do come back and do that full scenario that we had. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and just do the shorter one, because it'll only take us, well, you know what? It's about half the route. It's not going to be 25 minutes. It's going to be more like 45 minutes, I think we're going to be working on here. So I thought it was going to be a short scenario. They apparently undershot the scenario timings on these by a lot. So we're going to just go ahead and do what we can with this. I may have to just take these in advance in the future and then just slot them in when I feel like doing a shorter or longer scenario, as the case may be. I may have to do that. So now heading to Midford for our connection. We are expected to arrive at 7:59. We should have a green signal here according to that signal. The next signal is saying that we are going to have a red, as a caution yellow is indicated there. Is there a timetable? There is not. The Strand service is weighing at Midford Station, coupled to the rear carriage. Copy that. So let's just check if the signal ahead is indeed red. No, we have a green. I think we're good here. We have a green. I like the 7F, by the way. You may remember I played on West Somerset Railway. I had high praise for the 7F included with that route, so I think it's the same one. Fantastic train to control on that route, I found. I enjoyed playing that one. We're on an uphill, so I'm going to move the steam reverser down. The reverser down so I get more steam going in the right places, and we are instead gaining speed on the uphill, which is what I like. I like that a lot. The 7F has no problem with these uphills. The Black 5, a little weak if you ask me. Lovely highway. How are our signals? Green. We're going to keep an eye out for a red signal coming up. We will need to hit tab for that. Midford is only about 3 miles away, so I do expect a red in about 2 or 3 signals from now. However, we're probably going to get moved around on a junction to get around the stricken train so we can get in front of it. That's my guess. And if that is true, then we're going to be taking control at the front. But it is possible we could be doing it from the rear as well. I have no idea. I honestly don't know what we're going to be doing. I see a phone booth down there on that street. That was nice. So on the uphill, it's a little harder to get up to 70, so we can get to 50, it looks like, no problem. And until I get off the uphill, it looks like I can't gain much more. But I'm also pretty steady, which makes me wonder if I need to lower my steam a little bit more. That might be possible. That might be a thing. Do I need to drop my reverser for more control? We have no signals yet. There is a 30 up ahead. This could be where a red is involved. I do not know yet. Now, is my train going to gain speed the second I come off this hill? Yes, it is. Slightly. Oh, 30% is not... Oh, I think I might see some interesting data here. Good to know. I'm actually under 20%. My steam just... Okay, I can actually go much lower numbers. Good to know. Well, I'm learning things. I need to lower my speed right now anyway, so I'm going to keep the reverser up to help me with this. So we're going to get a little bit of brakes on. I got up to 57, but I'm going to drop it immediately now. We're going to watch for some kind of signal ahead because we have to get to Midford. No, we're going to be... I think I see what's going to be happening. We're going to be actually connecting to the train from behind. I don't think there's a way to get around it. We have to push from behind. That's going to be a little awkward. So I'm going to drop the speed down to 20 as I get closer to the signal. For now, I'm going to let some of these brakes off. Looks like I'm still losing speed anyway, so much for that plan. The downhill is kind of helping that. So checking over on this side, if I poke ahead here, we should see what's probably a red signal coming around the curve here. Okay, more brakes off. We're already down to 20. I did not want that yet. So keeping an eye on the curve here. I'm going to actually turn my view a little bit here and see if we can see. Indeed, there is a red signal. This was expected. So I'm going to just go ahead and make my request when I get to a 1/10 of a mile out. That should do the job. I'm going to remove the brakes now because I am going at a decent enough speed. And here we go. We are approved to pass. So we can now pass this red signal. We have been permissioned. Or permitted is the right word, but I like to make things up. So permissioned it is. So I could have probably come in just a little bit faster here. We are entering the 30 right now. But I also don't want to completely crash into the train. So I'm just going to go ahead and take it nice and gentle. Since I'm already down this slow by accident, I'm just going to keep it slow. Though I did intend to bring it down to 20, would have been just a little bit faster than this. Am I still zoomed in? I am still zoomed in. So let's go ahead and zoom out now. We will be zooming in again in a moment as we get into the station. So I'm going to put those brakes back on now. Bring the speed down just a little bit more. Actually, there's a train right there. So heavy brakes. So I'm going to zoom ahead now. We got a running brake attached. Let's take a look from above, actually. As we see the train right there. Not from above, from the side, rather. Put those brakes back on now. Perfect. The pilot locomotive is ineffective and will be investigated at Radstock. For now, complete the stopping service at Wellow, Shoscombe, and Radstock. The passengers have already boarded here at Midford, so continue when ready. Copy that. So the pilot loco is ineffective, which is the one at the front. We're not going to be using that. Put all the steam up right now to get this thing moving. So we're driving from the rear, boys. The front of the train is now this ineffective rusty thing, whereas we're driving it with this rather effective rusty thing. Yeah, those are the two locomotives. There you go. We have a much shinier version, it looks like. So if we want to see everything properly at this point, and that signal's going to go down now. If we want to see everything properly at this point from the front view, we can basically look up here. We can assume that the guy in the front cab would be basically waving flags at us to tell if it's a green or a red signal. We're not going to worry about that because we can just watch from up here, and there's no guy with flags there. So, off to Wellow we go. We will be there in a few minutes. This is a much heavier train, so we are having much more difficulty pushing from the back. Obviously, it's supposedly a passenger service, but if we look at the train, that's the cool thing. So yeah, it's a passenger service. Pushing from the back does make it a lot harder. So we are going to be running not very efficiently, unfortunately. You notice we have no brakes on, but we are running at 17 miles per hour in what will eventually be a 70 going uphill. And I can't seem to do anything to get this speed any faster. I am doing what I can, but notice that the ability to gain speed went down dramatically as soon as I pushed the reverser back up. So when I put the reverser in a position where I actually should gain speed, because I'm pushing so much stuff in front of me, this train is going to just stay slow. I can't drive from the front. It's not working. Otherwise, I'd be going faster. So I'm going to have to just deal with what I have, unfortunately. I'm going to be going very, very slowly. So that 8:03 arrival time, or 8:04, whatever it said before, that is just shooting up now. That's going to be much, much later. 1.75 miles at the speeds we're going. We're talking 6-7 minutes. So we have a chance to enjoy the lovely scenery, and I'm going to try to show you some of the lovely scenery here. I know it's old, basic Kuju style scenery, but we'll just take a chance to enjoy some of these shots nonetheless. I'm not going to do any cuts. I'm just going to go ahead and show you the things as we're going here. Show you the old rusty train that we are pushing. 45440 is having issues. Now view down on... Oh, look at the valley over there. I missed that shot. Missed that opportunity. We are gaining speed now. We actually are doing much better. We're getting up to 30 now that we're on flat ground. So uphills are really killing it for our train right now. We have to basically get up to speed in a bloody hurry before we hit those hills. Otherwise, we're going to have issues. Now, if you're just a single locomotive, you have no problems, obviously. A little bit of a gully there. Look at that view over there. In fact, this could be a chance for... I'm going to stay with you, but let's go ahead and take a quick look over here. And you can see the nice shots that are just possible here with the train going by right there. The nice shots that you can just get of the train moving. Very, very nice. Back in the cab. Now, since I'm in this cab, I want to go ahead and stop when I... Basically, when I get to the platform. The engine that our engine doesn't have to necessarily be in the platform, so we can just stop for the platform with ourselves just outside of it. We should still be able to open the doors at Wellow and the other stations as well. So this should not be an issue. We're just going to plan our stops so that our engine is literally just touching the platform. That gets all the passenger cars on the platform, which is long enough for it. If we can fit the whole train, we'll do it. I don't know if we can, though. So I'm applying some brakes now so I can make the approach a little bit easier for myself here. 0.2 of a mile out. By the time we see a signal, we've already passed it. So I will need a little bit more brakes when I get in the platform. Right now I'm actually going at a good braking policy. I'm going to actually lower it a little bit. So I'm doing okay with brakes right now. Give a little horn to say hello that we're coming in. There's the platform. The front of the train is in the start of the platform. It's not really on the platform yet as pictured. I'm going to go ahead and take the brakes back off because I'm coming in a little too slow now, but I do want to stop very shortly anyway. We can stop now. Stop it right now. That'll do the job nicely. Arrival at Wellow, platform number 1. And you can see the doors open ahead of us. Passengers wrapped up against the storm, finished boarding. Okay, that's interesting information. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves moving as quickly as we can here. We don't have any uphill at this point, which is extremely fortunate. box. There goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get the reverser moving down so I can fine-tune our speed before we get too far along here. Just nice shots of the train curving in front of us on the route. There you go. Truck and some kind of farm vehicle over there on the left. Gonna keep that reverser going down, fine-tune our speed even more. Can we possibly get ourselves up to 30 again? I don't know. So our next stop is Shoscombe and Single Hill Halt, number 1, platform 1. That's the 3rd station on the route. I say station very loosely, by the way. So, again, it's right up there, and then we're going to continue on to Radstock. So we're only doing the first 4 stops on the route, basically, including the Bath Green Park, I think it is. Sorry, Bath Green Park. So I think we're only going through 4 stations, with Midford included. So that seems to be all we're doing, right? Oh, Wellow, sorry, 5 stations. So with 5 stations we're going to be going through, and we're stopping on the route. We're not going to see Evercreech Junction or any of the other stations leading up to that. We're not going to see the stations at the end of the route, which is Templecombe, or any stations leading up to that. We're just stopping at Radstock, and that's it. That's all we're doing. So yeah, this is indeed a nice short scenario. Not much to really worry about here. And I'm happy about that. So I got the speed up to 30. We are continuing slowly beyond that. Pushing a locomotive is hard, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you that. Pushing an entire train is hard. You expect it to be running to give you some power, but it is useless. It cannot function. Oh, by the way, if you were observing at the previous platform, you might have noticed that the coach right in front of me was not on the platform. Even though the HUD said it was on the platform, it actually was not in the platform. And therefore, its doors did not open. So I will try to be a little more careful about that this time. See if I can get the that coach in front of us fully into the platform, if at all possible. And it should be at many of these stations. So I will try to get in the platform this time around. I've already taken the throttle or the regulator off completely. So I'm ready to slow down at Shoscombe and Single Hill Halt. Halts are not really formal stations. They act as stops, and sometimes some halts are basically request-only type things. You don't normally stop there unless you're asked to. But back in the old days, hello. Back in the old days, I think halts were used to represent a station, and it did have normal service. It just wasn't something you normally saw in that fashion. Also, train fares in the old days, what were they, like a penny? Give them a penny, hop on, go for a ride? Not anymore. I need more brakes. Pulling off some of the brakes here, but I'm keeping a lot of it applied. Good enough for now. Actually, I'm still coming off very quickly, so full brake removal at this point. This is a good speed to come in. Let's see if I can get the train fully. I'm going to put a little more speed on to make sure I can not die at the station. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Why not? Coax it in. So I want to keep going. I don't want to stop quite yet. Get in the platform. Into the platform all the way, please. Coax it in. The engine doesn't need to be in at the front. Okay, we got the front, the one in front of us in, so we're going to come stop now. All coaches should be in. That's another coal tender at the second spot up there. So all coaches are in. We're going to open the doors here at Schurzcombe and Single Hill Halt. Windblown Locals Board and inform you of fallen trees, including one blocking the line after Radstock. It sounds like a big cleanup will be in order. Well, now it makes sense. There's a tree blocking the line. We have a stricken service and there's a tree blocking the line. We may not be able to see the tree, but that's interesting. So leaving Schurzcombe and Single Line Halt, our final stop will be Radstock. Since there's a tree blocking the line after Radstock, it's kind of logical. Kind of also a coincidence that we were told we're only going to Radstock before we even learned that. So, they lost an opportunity to surprise us with why we're stopping at Radstock. We already knew we were stopping at Radstock. But then, of course, if you use this, you already knew that anyway. Most eventful service this has been today. So I will come back to those 2 full route runs, like I said, at some point, and I will do one of them more with all the passenger stops, kind of like as a route learning thing. The other one will be another 2-day scenario where I'll be basically stopping and doing shunting in several yards along the way. The other ones appear to be somewhat shorter. We're talking like 35, 40, 45 minutes, something along those lines. There was a Just Trains SeaCal scenario that is not part of the original pack, and also the 8F is actually, what am I seeing here? Okay, the 8F is actually a separate DLC as well, so we'll do that separately as well. I am looking at also doing some holiday scenarios on here when Christmas comes around. I already found a nice holiday set, and I'm going to go ahead and do a much longer stint on the route to do those holiday scenarios when the time comes. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and just enjoy this. We're going to move over to the Seaburg-Bonn route to introduce a second route among the original 8, 9 if you count Cahoon Pass. So we are going to go ahead and get that in as well before we go too far. Green signal. I mentioned that next Friday I'm looking at doing another new route. I actually realized that I've done several routes that go through Clapham Junction and other areas like that, but I never considered, while I was doing London Faversham, which I needed to do anyway, I never considered, among all the routes I needed to do, that I needed to... Well, first I still didn't do the Midland Main Line. That's without question. The London to Bedford I still have to do. But I never considered the fact that I never did the North London Line or the Goblin Lines. So I'm thinking of introducing the North London Line route, and then I'll continue from there at some point after that to introduce the Goblin Lines. So I am looking at doing that a combination of routes. I will start with the North London Line section. I'll try to pick 2 interesting scenarios on the North London Line. That will take us up to Stratford from Clapham Junction. Clapham Junction is the terminus of that route, so it'll take us up to Stratford. And once we get to Stratford, we're going to, at some point, continue on the route to Barking. Now, something worth noting is that Barking Riverside is brand new and is not on the Train Sim Classic implementation of the Goblin Lines, which takes it to Barking. So that is not represented. So if I have not seen anything new from DTG on Train Sim Classic of late. They haven't announced anything. Maybe they're just doing some core updates right now. They're going to come back to it. I don't know. But until they announce something, I can't really comment as to what that means, obviously. I can't say I know anything. Getting ready to slow down here, by the way. Nice little curvy area here at Radstock. Lots of yard paths here and connecting lines that we have to deal with. So, if we ever see a new route, there could be a possibility that section could be included. whether it's on Train Sim Classic from another developer, like ATS doing something, or if something on Train Sim World. Again, I don't know anything, but it would be... those would be ways to get the new section in here. I have seen a video on Barking Riverside. Looks interesting. There's another station being built along that line that currently I don't think would be implemented. If I'm guessing correctly, I don't know, but I'm guessing it would not be implemented yet because it's not built yet. But I know there is a second station that does exist and is being constructed on the route. I don't remember if it's before or after Barking Riverside. But either way, it would be very interesting to see the new section built. And I would love to see it added on to the Goblin Alliance route through the workshop. That's kind of the way I would love to see it. But I don't know... are we on the platform? Oh, early platform here. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen if we're ever going to see that, but it would be nice to see the Barking Riverside. As soon as I saw that, I thought that's just a tiny extension. Someone in the workshop can do that, but maybe the assets for Train Sim Classic are just too detailed. You can't make them up out of what we have for workshop use. Maybe that's why it hasn't shown up yet, even though it's been open for a while. I'd love to see it someday, but that's a different story. We're going to stick with our Somerset and Dorset route. Let's see if that train, by the way, has ever shown up here. I'm going to go ahead and pop ahead here before I open the door. Oh, hello. Guess what? The tree, rather, is right there. The scenery for the tree is added. That is lovely. That is lovely. The tree is blocking the route. And our train, if we go to the front of the train and see from the front, we cannot pass. Now, I believe because of the way that the graphics work in Train Sim Classic, if we were to go too far on the platform, we would actually go into the tree, and we would actually go through it, so we could actually theoretically continue. I don't know if I actually passed a red signal. Let me actually find out. Did I pass a red signal back here? No, it was a green signal. So we had a green signal to basically drive into the tree. So, signaling mechanics in Train Sim Classic, ladies and gentlemen. If we continue up here... yeah, line's open. Line's clear. You can go through here, if you can get here. So yeah, that's the end of that scenario. Let's just open the doors and we'll look at our train as we finish. So a fun fact, the back coach doors are not open, so we actually did not go far enough to open the last coach, but the first coach is too far past the platform. Not a properly functioning platform here at Radstock, it looks like. Anyway, the passengers filter off and head for the station building. You spot a fallen tree on the line ahead. Yeah, we did. Which crew are trying to clear? One crew? You've completed this limited service excellently. Yeah, we kind of couldn't miss the tree, as you saw when I looked ahead. I honestly didn't think it was there. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Make sure you come back for the next scenarios on Seerbergbahn. I'm Cyclone. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for your part of the world. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.